Members, we are going to be moving up in the file to file item 86. File item 86. That's ACR 34 by Mr. Cooper. The clerk will read.
Assembly Concurrent Resolution 34 by Assemblymember Cooper and others relative to the November 1984 anti-Sikh pogroms.
Mr. Cooper, you may open.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. In November of 1984, over 3,000 Sikhs were murdered throughout India. Eyewitnesses, journalists, and human rights activists have compiled evidence showing that government and law enforcement organized, participated in, and failed to intervene to prevent the killing of Sikhs. Sikhs were beaten with iron rods. They were forcibly shorn of their hair, which Sikhs religiously are required to maintain uncut, doused with kerosene, and set on fire. Sikh women, many of whom lost their husbands, sons, and fathers during the pogroms, were gang raped and sexually assaulted by the attackers. Sikh homes, businesses, and houses of worship were looted, damaged, and destroyed during the violence. Individuals and organizations throughout the world, recognizing the need for justice, continue to demand the prosecution for those responsible for the November 1984 anti-Sikh genocide. This resolution, ACR 34, recognizes those who lost their lives during the 1984 anti-Sikh genocide, and 2 members who were escaped with their lives are here today. I ask for your aye vote and request that the first roll be opened for co-authors.
Thank you, Mr. Cooper. Mr. Levine, you are recognized from your desk.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. I rise in support of ACR 34 and thank the author for bringing forward this important measure. The massacre in India resulted in almost 2,800 deaths. More than 2,100 deaths were in Delhi alone. This systematic act of hate and political and racist revenge caused more than 20,000 Sikhs to flee their homes in Delhi. To this day, many Sikhs in India still live in fear. It is important that we remember this massacre. It is also important that we recognize what happened and keep in mind that it was only 30 years ago. We need to remember that many of those who were responsible for the gross human rights violations and loss of life are still alive today and have yet to be held accountable. By having this public discussion and remembrance, let us further the public call for justice. Until there is acknowledgement, atonement, and reconciliation for the massacre, many of the more than 21 million Sikhs that live in India will continue to feel alienated and targeted. I ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Mr. Levine. Ms. Eggman, you are recognized from your desk.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. I too rise in support of ACR 34. In the city of Stockton Sikh Temple was the first of its kind in the entire United States. It was established in 1912 following a meeting in the still small community of Holt, where local Sikhs formed a committee to raise funds for the temple's construction. They bought land on Stockton South Grant Street, which I am proud to be a part of renaming Sikh Temple Street when I was on the city council. The Sikh community's advocacy for that name change was a model of inclusion. They held meetings with their neighbors who feared change and did their best to allay those concerns. They have brought the city together after incidences of terrible violence and also invited others to visit and participate in their annual festival, which weaves throughout downtown Stockton and throughout our south side to Sikh Temple Street. Stockton treasures its Sikh community as much as any other, but the location of the first Sikh temple in America gives it special significance. I am humbled to be able to join my colleagues today in decrying the anti-Sikh pogroms of 1984, and I'm also humbled to celebrate my city status as the Plymouth Rock of the first American Sikh community. And we also have leaders from our Sikh temple here with us today.
Thank you, Ms. Eggman. Mr. Gallagher, you are recognized from your desk.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. I want to thank my colleague from Elk Grove for bringing forward this important resolution in which we remember and recognize the pogroms that claimed the lives of thousands of Sikhs throughout India in 1985. It is important that we recognize the need for justice and remember the lives lost due to this massacre. The best way to combat evil is to confront it and to shine a light upon it. And we do this by speaking truth. The light of truth extinguishes the darkness. It is also important that we recognize the numerous significant contributions made by the Sikh community to our beloved state to this very day. My district in the Sacramento Valley is home to one of the largest Sikh populations in the United States, and they are well known for their active role in agricultural advancements. But in addition to agriculture, Sikhs have played a role in almost every industry in this state, including high technology, medicine, trucking. Their contribution to California's economy and job development is increasing with each passing year as a number of Sikh entrepreneurs, business owners, and farmers continue to rise. In addition, their desire to spread awareness about their religion and culture while at the same time integrating and assimilating into American culture is exemplary. They are some of the most patriotic Americans I know. My own life has been enriched by the Sikh people that I have known and called friend. And I'll be happy to introduce you to some of those friends here a little bit later. Thank you. Ask for your...
Thank you, Mr. Gallagher. Ms. Cooley, you're recognized.
Colleagues, I want to rise in support of ACR 34 to memorialize the history of the Sikhs in India, this pogrom of 1982 or 1984. I know in my community the Sikhs are a compassionate and generous people, and their temples are a place of refuge. And so it is an especial affront that this kind and generous and caring people would be victimized in this way. It happened in India. We've seen murders of Sikhs just going about their daily business. And I think it's inexplicable why this happens. But colleagues, I know that there are many faiths in this world. Pretty much all believe we live our life today and someday we will be held accountable. And this can be summarized in the expression, there is today, there is that day, and I want to live my life today for that day. And at its core, in all ethics, if we are going to live our life with a view to some day of accountability, then we will live our life in such a way as to honor all people we encounter, to see the value in them, to uphold the value in them, to affirm the value in them. And this is what we all need. And I thank you for bringing forth this resolution, which reminds us that that is not how all live their lives, but it's certainly what we want to affirm on this floor, this honoring of people for their intrinsic worth and merit and value. Thank you.
Mr. Kansan Chu, you are recognized from your desk.
Thank you, Mr. Speakers and members. As I do want to rise to show my appreciation to many of the Sikh community and their contribution in the making of Silicon Valley and in our local economy. So thank you very much, Assembly Member Cooper, to bring this one up to us.
Ms. Olson, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. I, too, rise in support of ACR 34 to decry the violence of 1984 that occurred against the Sikh community, appreciate the author for bringing this new way forward for us to, again, remember those who lost their lives, honor the survivors, and to honor those in the Sikh community that have chosen to reestablish lives here in California. I, too, have one of the districts, along with a couple of colleagues of mine who spoke, that is one of the most populous areas in our state for the Sikh community. They are so active in the business community, in the education community, in public office. One of our outstanding mayors is from the Sikh community, and so appreciate the contributions they make to us here in California, across the United States, and take this time to remember those who were lost and to honor the survivors. Thank you for bringing ACR 34 forward, and ask for an aye vote from all of us.
Seeing no further discussion or debate, Mr. Cooper, you may close on the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to thank my colleagues for their kind and thoughtful comments. I ask for your aye vote and request that the first roll be open for co-authors.
Mr. Cooper is asking that the first roll be open for co-authors. Members, this is for co-authors. The clerk will open the roll. All members wishing to add as co-authors on ACR 34 All members vote who desire to vote. Co-authors on ACR 34. There are 76 co-authors added on ACR 34. Without objection, we may take a voice vote on this item. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The resolution is adopted.